Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to Barb's Vault, where Barb has tasked me with teaching you everything that I have learned in my time out there in the wasteland, and today we're going to be talking about a Bloodied Commando build. So that's one of the things I've seen commented a lot on all of our various YouTube videos, is people asking how I am killing people so quickly and why I have such low health. And we're going to touch on all that, but first we're going to go into our cards. So the first thing we're going to touch on is our special. See here at my little kiosk, I've got my Bloody Ninja build. This is actually going to be a shotgun build. I don't know why I still have it labeled as Mega Gun. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at our special stats. You can see where I have all of mine set. The three most important ones are Perception, Agility, and Luck. You can see here that my Luck is not set at 15, and we'll touch on that here in just a second. So going into our Pip-Boy, we're going to take a look at the cards we've selected and take a look at our numbers. So you can see Perception 15, Agility 15, Luck 15. And the reason why my Luck is at 15, even though my special it's not, is because I'm using one of my legendary perk cards to increase my Luck rating. And I've just been playing for a long time, so don't worry if you don't have all of these numbers the same way that I do, just because I have no life this game and I've just grinded out levels to scrap cards to get the perk coins to actually level all these guys up. And the other thing I just wanted to touch on briefly is intelligence is important for leveling up, because intelligence corresponds with the actual experience you're getting. Okay, so going into the cards that make up our build. So we're doing a commando build, so I'm using automatic rifles, bloodied, so my health is low, my radiation is high, and I'm outputting more damage. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at these cards and why I chose them. So you can see here we have Master Commando. Lifelong combat training means automatic rifles do plus 20% damage. Ground Pounder, automatic rifles reload 30% faster and have excellent hipfire accuracy. Commando, basic combat training means automatic rifles do plus 20% damage. Expert Commando, rigorous combat training means automatic rifles do plus 20% damage. And then I do concentrated fire, VATS targets limbs, focus fire to gain high accuracy and damage per shot. So if you're watching me play the game ever, you're seeing that I'm usually focusing on a super mutant's head, using my critical meter to take them out in basically like 2 bullets. So that's the reason why I have concentrated fire on there. And then over in agility, I have Action Boy, so my action points regenerate 45% faster. Covert Operation, your range attacks do an additional 50% sneak attack damage. Sneak, you are 75% harder to detect while sneaking. Escape Artist, sneak to lose enemies, and running no longer affects your stealth. And then I use Adrenaline, gain plus 10%, max 60% damage for 30 seconds per kill. Duration refreshes with each kill. So I am a Bloodied Combat Stealth build. So the reason why I go with Stealth is because your health is going to be very low, and so you're more likely to get killed, but we have a couple of other cards that are actually going to mitigate some of those problems. So I have these Sneak cards built in. That way I'm almost impossible to detect, and I'm going to be able to do more critical damage as long as I'm actually sneaking, so I'll be able to take out enemies even faster. So keep that in mind. I primarily play as a VATS stealth build. So next we're going to move on to Luck, and some of the ones that I have in here right now actually aren't that pertinent to a bloody build, but we'll go over some of your options. So I always use better criticals, because again I'm a VATS based build, so VATS criticals now do 100% damage. So getting a critical, it's going to do 100% more damage than it would have originally, and keep in mind that my action points regenerate 45% faster. So I'm getting criticals over and over and over again. It's basically nonstop. I very rarely, if ever, have to worry about my action points regenerating. And then here's the really big one, because I know that a lot of people are asking, how come your health is so low and aren't you going to get killed a lot easier? So Serendipity, while below 30% health, gain a 45% chance to avoid damage. This one's huge because you're always going to be running this build at least below 20% health. So keep that in your head. We'll go over that here in a little bit. Then Class Freak, the negative effects of your mutations are reduced by 75%. And I actually have a video covering mutations. I'll link that in the comments below. But there's one very important mutation that we're going to throw into the mix here. And then right now I have Unstarched Genes, so that way I'll never mutate from being irradiated, and my Radaway will never cure any of my mutations. That's a very important thing. You don't want to go around having to repurchase or recraft all of your mutations. Right now I have on Good Basalt because Zach and I have been going around just blowing through mutants at West Tech, and we're using Cranberry Relish and Brain Bombs to do that, and we just want to make sure that when we craft them, they're not just immediately going away. Normally, I would say let's go with Critical Savvy. Critical hits now only consume 55% of your critical meter, meaning that your action points are regenerating a lot faster, your critical attacks are doing way more damage, and they're taking less of your action points to actually execute on. And you're basically invisible to most enemies, and you're just doing tons of damage in VATS. So that's the basics of the build. You can plug and play a few different ones in here. Like I said, intelligence I have set to 15 just because I want to level up faster, and I just put a lot of those things in there just because they're nice to have, quality of life stuff. So next we're going to go into my gear, and we'll go into like where to buy these things here in just a second. So you can see here I have all unyielding Secret Service armor pieces. Now, the reason why this is such a huge deal to a bloody build, you can read these perks up here. Gain up to +3 to all stats except endurance when low health. That is a huge jump in stats. And all of these stack, so they all have the gain up to +3 to all stats. These aren't even the best versions of rolls I could get for these armor pieces. You can get +1 to intelligence on top of the +3 that you're getting for all these. So we'll go ahead and take a look over here at my actual special points now with the unyielding armor on. You can see just how ridiculous my setup is now. So +29 to strength, +35 perception. My endurance is very low because, again, unyielding doesn't actually affect that. Charisma at 16, intelligence at a whopping 40, agility 32, and luck at 30. So with this entire setup like this, you're just an absolute powerhouse of a build. So obviously an exceptionally powerful build, and that's why it's such a popular build among most people that play the game. I'm not one to be too worried about my health being full. I think that I have enough of the perk cards that it's really not that big of a deal when my health is this low, because Serendipity really saves me from a lot of those tough situations. Now, we're going to go into how you can actually buy the Secret Service armor. So you will have to complete the main story quest for Wastelanders to have access to Vault 79. So I'll see you guys there. Okay, so Vault 79 is hidden under this little shed. We're going to go ahead and head down there. If you've beaten the main storyline, you already know where this is at, but maybe you're not aware that this is where you get your Secret Service armor at. Alright, now that we're down here below, we can see them crafting some gold bullion to create a new currency for the Wasteland, but we're really going to be looking for our boy Regs over here. So I actually already have all of the armor sets for this, so I don't believe the plans will show up here for me to actually purchase, but I think I still have the Secret Service helmet up for purchase. So the reason why I never purchased this is because it's only cosmetic. It's not going to give you actually stat boost to raise up your special score or anything like that, so I wouldn't worry about getting it. But the cost of each of these pieces, it's going to be $750 for each limb and $1250 for the chest plate. So you're going to want to do a lot of events. You're going to have to grind them out to get some gold bullion. That way you can actually come here and purchase these items. So it's a little bit of a grind, but it is completely worth it. So once you have the plans, you can craft it, and then you're going to have to start to spend some of your legendary script to actually have rolls on it to try and get unyielding. It's an incredibly painstaking process, so be ready for it to take forever. One of my tips that I always like to give people when they're trying to build up to having this full set, I'm going to go ahead and show you a way that you can actually purchase gold bullion. And it is very pricey, so just forewarning there. Okay, so here at the Wayward, which is one of the first places you're going to come to right after Vault 76. I'm assuming you already know that because this is an extremely endgame build, but even a lot of vet players don't know that this is an option. Okay, we're going to just come in here, going to go ahead and mosey up these stairs. Here's our boy Smiley. So we can actually buy gold bullion from him, but it is very pricey. So 6,000 caps will give you 300. Not a great exchange rate, but it's the best we can do. And if you're really, really close to unlocking the Secret Service armor, you just need that last little bit of a push, you know what? You might as well do it. But I would focus on getting the treasury notes from doing events. That's going to be the fastest way to do it, and it's going to be the most cost effective. Okay, so up next is mutations. If you don't know what mutations are, I'll link to the video below that I made on the subject, how to find mutations, maybe how to purchase them if you want to craft them, but they're a little pricey, so forewarning. So the one we're going to focus on is Adrenal Reaction. Your weapon damage increases the lower your health. So another thing to add on top of your bloody build, And then we're going to move on from there. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at my main weapon of choice. Okay, so the last thing we're going to focus on here is my Bloodied Handmaid. I renamed it Bloody Patriot. You know, the Enclave. They used to be the US government. You get it. So we can see here, for a bloodied item, damage increases as health decreases. So the big thing with this weapon is that it's working in tandem with the rest of my abilities, with my gear, with my perk cards. Okay, so with all of my items here working in tandem with one another, you can see just how ludicrous my kill speed is. These super mutants don't even know where to find me. I know the stereotype is that mutants are big dummies, but I mean, like, come on. Just look where the bullets are coming from. Completely overpowered. Just absolute lunacy. So yeah, absolutely incredible damage. This is obviously a damage build. I actually haven't dived too much into any of the full health builds or maybe being a medic or something like that. My main focus is just doing the most damage that I can to run through West Tech, to grind out all my levels, to get more perk cards. You know, I want to max out everything, and that's just kind of the person that I am. So hopefully this video was informative for you, but again, I don't know everything. I'm only 350 hours in the game, and I know that sounds like a lot, but there is a lot of moving parts to this game. So make sure you check out the comments below. There are a lot of veteran players who have been here since launch, who know a lot more about this game than I do. So if there's anything that I missed or anything that you want to add, make sure you comment below. And it would be very helpful if you guys liked and subscribed. I know that's incredibly cringe to ask, but that's what YouTube wants. So if you enjoyed the video, why don't you try sticking around? We're going to start streaming a little bit more often, and we're going to go a little bit more in depth with some of these things with the homies in the stream. So love you, appreciate you, see you next time.